Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Philip Flores, and if you're new here, we talk a lot about Nikon, and in particular, this last year I've been doing a lot of videos based on the Nikon Z6 in specific, and it's just an incredible camera. Before I even get into any of that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing. We just made it to like 900 subs. And that is really incredible. It makes me feel like, you know what, I'm doing this right. I'm giving you guys some valuable content. I'm doing it in a way that makes sense to you guys and that you guys appreciate. So thank you so much. With that said, in this video, I just want to talk about 5 video specific features that I think make this camera one of the best values on the market today. And it makes me wonder why more vloggers in general just aren't using the Z6. It's such an incredible amount of features packed into such a nice little body. It's just incredible. So along the way, I'm going to show you some examples of the features that I'm talking about. We'll jump into the menu and I'll show you as well kind of how to set some of these things up. But I want to try to keep this one short. So number 1 is 4K. 4K in this camera looks incredible. What's so special about it though is that it's a full frame camera. Okay, for under $2,000 you're getting a mirrorless full frame camera that can shoot 4K up to 30 frames per second uncropped. Right? No crop. That is just rare. And depending on what your needs are, I know a lot of people who in the video world really appreciate having that extra resolution. Even if they're exporting or encoding in 1080, then they can jump in, they can punch in. It gives them more composition options, obviously. Number 2, and this is one of the more personal reasons for me why I was excited to pick this camera up, was for 120 frames per second. I know that for a lot of people this isn't really that important, but you know what, for me, I love the 120 frame rate. There's a lot of like fast action that, 60 frames per second just doesn't cut it. And if you guys have watched any of the other videos, you've probably seen a lot of 120 frames per second. It's so easy to set it up. It's super stable. It's clean, it's buttery. Oh my goodness, it's just incredible. And you know what, I'm gonna throw a link up somewhere around here to the slow motion video I did in particular talking about 60, but mostly 120 frames per second. It's a really fun video to watch. I definitely recommend it. Let me know what you think. Number 3 is the in-body image stabilization. So again, we're talking about a full frame mirrorless camera that has in-body image stabilization, or what you may have heard as IBIS. This is really incredible because it means no matter what lenses you adapt or you put on this camera, you get the option of a stabilized image. So let me show you just a couple examples. We'll throw on some, not so old glass, maybe like a 105 micro, and then we'll throw on a 55 f2.8, more vintage lens, full manual lens, and also show you that we can still get a stable image. The IBIS does a really good job, in my opinion. You can use that in conjunction with an electronic stabilization. I find that, that's useful as well. That comes on like the D500 as well, and I did a very short video about the D500. I'll link it. I think it works really great, honestly. It depends on the situation, and you do get a little bit of a resolution crop, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get that stable shot. Number 4, and this is, at least for me personally, the most important reason why I bought this camera, why I was so excited about this camera when it comes to video, and that is the new autofocus system. With the video, with Nikon, I've said this many times before, we've never been able to rely on autofocus. You just can't do it. Nikon has claimed that you can, of course. No, it just never works. It's always constantly hunting. Well, now with the Z6 and with the Z7, we are able to, first of all, track faces. And you know what? It does a really decent job. I tested it walking through dark situations, walking through compositions where I'm up against like a wall, and it is just incredible. So again, talking about this from a vlogger's perspective, this camera doesn't have a flip out screen. It doesn't bother me at all because I know that the camera is autofocusing on my face really well. Let me dig in and I'll show you a couple of the settings that you can adjust to tailor that to your needs. But in my experience, the full-time autofocus on the Z6 has just been incredible. It really has yet to fail me, at least for these videos that I've been making just here in my studio. I can tell you as well, when I'm running gunning with the camera, it does a fantastic job at grabbing a face that I want it to and allowing me to switch to a different face if there's multiple people in the shot and my depth of field is, you know, just super shallow. It does a fantastic job. Outside of the face tracking in the video mode, there is just tracking in general. And I think that the camera seems to be getting a lot of just backlash and just hate, but it does an incredible job. And again, you know, I'm comparing this to the other options that we have out there, right? So Canon, Sony, and then older Nikon gear as well, Fuji, Luminex. This camera is an incredible option. The tracking, it was super easy for me to just touch where I want it to track. If it loses a face, it goes back into the kind of auto area and you can quickly touch like an object. I was doing that sometimes when I was filming a gentleman trying to speak, and there were some things that would come in the way and maybe it would lose the face because maybe he would turn around for too long. Well, I could just quickly just tap on like the neck of his shirt, you know, where his shirt meets his skin. Camera never lost him. It was fantastic. It's definitely worth looking into if you guys are interested in video autofocus. And number 5, and I know that this is going to be a little bit more on a professional end rather than like a prosumer or vlogger end, but you know what, a lot more people are getting into external recording, so I'm just going to mention to you that to me this is one of the more valuable features of the video recording capabilities that the Z6 has, and that is being able to record out or send out a 10-bit 422 signal and record in what they call in-log. This is a first from Nikon. I've only used it a few times. In those few times, it's definitely been pretty good. I think that we're probably gonna see a lot of updates coming from Nikon. That's another reason that I think this is such an incredible value is, you know, this brand doesn't have a cinema line necessarily or any other cameras really holding it back. The brand seems to just want people to enjoy using the camera, whether that's for photos or for video. Guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it helped you. Like I said before, don't hesitate with questions or comments down below. I'll do my best to get back to you quickly. Please be respectful. Let's help each other out. Let's learn some new stuff. Just love everybody. I'll see you next time.